Hello, welcome back to another episode of When We Cry Data Archive. This will be our third episode now, right? I guess.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So, this is your friendly neighborhood mushroom, and our other hosts are.
This is your horrible neighborhood death.
Okay, I'm Sayome. I was on the last episode, but thankfully I'm here now.
And I am Yensid.
Wow.
Well, this is good. Des, do we think we want to talk about general life stuff or nah?
Yeah, if you want to, yeah, I'm not because I want to save my 5 minutes to discuss more Ciconia stuff. But if you want to,
And alright, I will use your 5 minutes.
No!
no, you won't.
Everybody in total should only have time. It should be 12 minutes in total. But if anybody wants to talk about, I guess I haven't heard from Salome for a long time. Salome, what have you been doing?
Not much. I mean, I guess I started my driving license lately.
Wow, yo.
That's exciting. I guess is it hard to get a driving license in Europe?
Not really. I mean, it's pretty easy. Not gonna lie. At least from what I've been doing.
Weird flex, but okay.
Do you drive stick shift or just like automatic?
Shift, so I can drive
Ooh.
all the cars.
That's so cool. I always want to learn how to drive stick shift, but there's actually not that many stick shift cars in America anymore. So
Oh, really?
yeah, no, not at all. I always thought about going to Europe and do I don't know, a road trip, but then they're all like, "Oh, like if you want to drive an automatic, it's three times the money than like to rent a stick shift."
Yeah.
American suppression, yo.
Let's go.
No, I just want to learn how to drive and it will be so much better. But yeah.
Jens, do you want to say anything about what you've been doing?
Oh yeah, I completed my first quarter of college.
Yo.
Congratulations.
That
Congrats.
was nice.
Did you get indoctrinated yet by all the Marxists?
The gay Marxist.
Not yet, but like one of my classes was like study skills for college. But in the textbook, there was a one chapter on diversity, and I was just reading it. And I was just imagining me reading that as a right winger and just how angry that person would be reading it because it had like a fucking pronoun chart and
Yo.
it's just like if anyone read it who was against diversity, it would just make them more angry instead of making them more pro-diversity.
That's unfortunate.
It's funny though.
I'm getting closer to learning more Japanese. I got a pretty good grade in my Japanese, but I haven't learned any of the katakana yet just because it hasn't been used, even though they were expecting me to be learning it, so...
Huh.
Down.
Okay.
It's like you don't learn half of the alphabets because you're like, well, I haven't gone there yet, so it's not a big deal.
I can't wait to start the next quarter after not doing Japanese for a couple weeks and then seeing katakana and just dying.
Well, that's up to you. You can keep trying. You can keep training. There's like plenty of
Yeah, I
apps.
should probably train with some of that katakana and hiragana training apps or whatever.
They're pretty helpful.
Oh.
True.
Been starting a reread of Ciconia with some of my friends, where we just kind of like read out the characters as if we were like doing a let's play that no one else was watching. Been reading it with someone who hasn't done any previous When They Cry entry, and it's interesting to like see how they're reacting to things.
Do they have a worse reaction because of the fact?
No, but I think there is kind of an interesting thing going on with the expectations that I think Ryukishi has for the audience who read the previous When They Cries, because my friend was like immediately on board with the idea of Ciconia as being a kind of a political satire story, but reading it he got the idea that a lot of the prose and the political messaging in the prose is kind of propagandistic from a perspective of from an in-universe perspective.
Yeah.
But he was just thinking like, why are they just hanging on to the bad politics so much? Why are they showing me so much bad politics? And that kind of made me think that the expectations that you got from reading Higurashi and Umineko like trained you to question everything, especially question like things being shown to you from perspectives.
Yeah.
So I think Ryukishi is using that expectation to tell a political story where he would know that the audience would have
The skepticism.
that question everything mindset.
Yeah.
Whereas if this was just like a standalone story, it would just be really weird.
Oh yeah, like if this was your first reading of any Ryukishi work, you would just be like, why is this man spouting about like nationalist propaganda? Like, does he believe it? Like, why is he spending so much time writing about it? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, because if this was just like a standalone political story, you just take the political opinions just for granted as the author's opinions.
Makes sense.
And you wouldn't question it. So it's really clever how it was a political story made as a sequel to mystery stories that relies on the mindset of mystery stories.
Yeah.
That's actually a very interesting way of thinking about it.
Mushroom, what about you? You have anything you want to mention?
Oh, every single person in my life is aggressively playing Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Pearl.
You mean Shining Diamond and Brilliant Pearl?
Brilliant. Yes, brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. Yes, those words.
I've heard like nothing good about that game. Like,
Are you serious? Everybody I know are playing it. Like, everybody I know has played it like since they were a child, so they remember the game like from like the back of their palm. So they're just playing it because it's like addicting and fun. I don't know. I think I'm gonna get it because my roommate also played Diamond when she was a kid, so I thought I would buy the pack where you get both Diamond and Pearl, and then so then she can get one and I can get the other, and then Merry Christmas.
Nice.
Like, no one I know is playing the remakes. I just know really funny technical stuff. Like, both games are literally the same fucking ROM, where there's a single value of letter change to make it one game or the other, and that seems to be the only Pokemon game where that's the case.
That's kind of cool.
It's kind of fucked up though. Like, you already have the other game.
They're literally selling you the same ROM twice with a single letter changed in the game.
Yeah. Also, I've heard so many like glitches about that game. Like,
yeah, softbox.
like you could just like run away from Cynthia like in the final room, and you can just skip her.
Oh yeah, you can like fucking run in a diagonal in the gym and just
softbox.
Just fucking break everything.
Yeah, you can also do the like black hole thing or void glitch again, and you can just get all the mythicals again. So stupid.
Really? That's so cool. I'm ready. I'm ready to spend human money on this game so I can break the game.
Good.
On another random note, the whole time I'm right now recording this, I'm utterly mad at the fact that I'm supposed to be hosting, so I can't just pull out my Switch and play Stardew Valley.
No.
That's it.
Good.
That's my thought. I think this will end our section on random thoughts.
Oh, let me actually. So yesterday, called my friend, and he was starting a Street Fighter timeline run to experience the story of this fighting game. And we started off with the first game, Saturday Night Slam Master, starring Mike Hagger.
What?
Yes, we're doing the timeline run, where we go through the chronological timeline of the Street Fighter games, including the Final Fight games and the Rival Schools games. I was just playing with him in Fightcade, and it was a 2v2 game, so we were playing in co-op, but in the Fightcade lobby, there was just one other guy from Chile just typing in the text chat in Spanish, "Does anyone want to play? I know how to play the game."
Get it, Holga?
And we were just struggling so hard playing the game, just like fucking retrying like 30 times to play, and then we just see that he joined our game as a spectator, seeing us just play this game miserably, and we were hating this game. And we were the only 3 people in the Fightcade lobby, but anyway, good start to the Street Fighter timeline run.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Ciconia, imagine a future where everybody gets to, like, be connected online, but what they didn't realize is if we really had, like, these cool VR things and everything connected to each other, it would just be a Chilean person being extremely disappointed by dumb Americans who can't figure out how to play an old game right.
True.
Yes.
So that will mark the start of the podcast
Yes,
episode?
Yes, and I will do my best for this episode to come out on Christmas night, seeing as this is...
You're all coming out?
Fuck.
Sorry.
Because fucking Ciconia. And of course, Ciconia is tied to Christmas, and Christmas is in 2 weeks. And if we post something other than this episode next week, then we can totally make it.
Okay. Wait, give me like 5 seconds. Don't talk. I need to sneeze. Hello, sorry. I don't know why I'm dying, but I am.
I didn't even understand what he said, to be honest.
Oh, I needed to sneeze because I'm dying as a person.
Oh.
No, don't die. You're so sexy. Yeah. I'm sorry. You know that meme?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the fucking fuckboy meme, yes.
So one of the first things we have to cover is chapter 5, Weird Rising. This is perfect because while we took time out of not recording this episode, Sayome went into her deep vault and found even more intense information to share with the class. So I'm really excited to hear about them because I got to read them at just like a fever state on Discord, and I was like, what is she talking about?
It's just always like that when I read Ciconia. I just always find new stuff. It's so weird.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. You somehow always find new shit in Ciconia.
Yeah.
Like you never fail to find something new.
It's utterly impressive. So yes, so chapter 5 starts with the quote, "When the Ciconia stop coming, a country has no future." So this is the king of ridicule. So some of the quotes in Ciconia are real quotes, and some of the quotes are quotes from characters in the story. I guess, unfortunately, John F. Kennedy is a fictional character that only exists in Ciconia. So this starts with in the deep underground. So we were mentioned that there was a student man that was sent by the three kings to go investigate this underground facility or something. So now we see a student man travel down into an elevator escorted by 2 guards with you can't even see their eyes. They're just like these, and there seem to be no affiliation. They reach up the bottom and then met with like these 2 girls with crystal blue skin and seeming like a gauntlet on their like left hand. And it's like a really weird like crystal bluey color scheme with gold, like strange stuff there. So basically, the soldiers were ordered not to step outside the elevator, urging the man to just keep going. And they basically, like, these girls who are, like, Gauntlet Knight girls, like, conjure up these gigantic cannons just to aim at this man and was like, keep going. So this man, like, keeps...
No. It wasn't the man. It was, like, the person who brought him. Like, they were specifically not aiming at the man.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. Sorry. The gigantic cannons are aimed like to the guards, like basically telling the guards not to leave the elevator.
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted to comment on, because it feels like such overkill, because time and time again you are shown that Gauntlet Knights are OP as fuck, and it just feels like a single Gauntlet Knight is on par with a battleship. So you got 2 battleships aiming at 2 foot soldiers. It seems like such a fucking overkill. Yeah. And then you think about how this man is being sent here by the 3 kings who literally like govern the world in one way or another that we still don't know anything about. And it just feels like a move that Dreisig made to be like a show of power, because the man is there as a mole. And then obviously, as we know, Dreisig saw through the plan. And this could be her being like, I know you sent a mole, and this is me showing you we can counter. So don't you 3 kings go around trying to face us and trying to assault us here in our base.
Basically, it's a very big dick energy move. Is that what you're trying to say?
I guess, like, just kind of showing a bit of your hand, of just like because they sent a mole into their base. The base of the underground lab is being kind of like investigated, you know? So it would be like Dreisig trying to, you know, make the 3 kings realize that the underground web is not as defenseless as they may think it is, you know?
You know, can I say something about that?
Of course.
Because Dreisig says that like she had other moles like already being sent to her, and like that they decided to stay there like anyway, so. And Dreisig also said that like she really like sees potential in that guy, like the mole that they sent, so and that he will like join them as well. So maybe like I feel like it's not really like just a move to like insult the 3 kings, but mostly like because she wanted that guy in her lab.
Oh, so you're saying she was like showing off these two Gauntlet Knights to kind of like make him want to join their party?
No. I mean, she does see potential in him, and he has expressed that he would leave everything behind to like make progress and stuff. So I think that's why she like would have taken him even if he wasn't a mole or something.
Oh, okay.
That's a fascinating way to see it too. Well, let's continue. The blue girl sends away, basically put away their cannon, and a woman in a lab coat appears. She basically looks like. Could we say that she looks like? She looks like.
Yeah, I guess we could say that.
Yeah.
This woman looks like another woman that's redacted. How about that?
Okay, that's yeah, I agree with that.
And
Big shot.
Oh my god.
so basically, this woman shows up and she calls this man doctor, and she's like, "Oh, welcome! Like, oh, I'm so happy! Like, I'm so glad you're here now." And the doctor with this man is very shocked to see the woman because he uses his cellcom and he turns and runs like a facial recognition scan on her and realizes that this woman is Veer Dreising. She's like a very genius physicist who invented the Dreising conversion, and Veer was supposed to have received a Bernhard Prize, a Bernhard Prize in Physics award for this achievement, but then she mysteriously disappeared from her hotel room in Oslo and was found dead 2 days later.
Yeah.
And basically, the Oslo police determined that Veer has gone drunk and fell into a trash compactor, getting incinerated, which is like a pretty metal way to die, I say.
Yeah. Yeah. Sayome, you want to talk about your little investigation now?
Okay, sure. I mean, it's just like a small thing, but like, I don't think I ever found like a Bernhard Prize or something like that exists in real life. But there is the Nobel Prize, and like the second name of Nobel was Bernhard. So I don't know why Ryukishi did that, but okay, I guess he just used the second name of Nobel.
Mm-hmm. And then what? And then tell us about the names that are mentioned just next.
I just looked at like the list of all the people who got like Nobel Prizes and noticed that like for the first two people that like he scans with his Salcom, like the first one is Vitaly Ablykozov, and like he was a physicist. And for the Nobel Prize of Physics, there were like two winners in 2003. One's first name was Vitaly, and the second one's last name was Ablykozov. And it's just like those two names are just mashed together for some reason. Like they're both were pioneers for contribution to the theory of superconductors and superfluids, but I don't know if that has much to do with that. But yeah, it's just really interesting. Then the second one is just like another, like David Wilczek. It was just like Frank Wilczek and David G. Gross, like the first name and the last name of the other just mashed together.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the 2004 winners.
That whole thing with the Nobel Prizes just really reminds me of how Ryukishi takes the name of characters from his other works and then rearranges the names to make other names. It's just Ryukishi being funky with the names. I'm not sure if there's any, weight to it.
Are you trying to say Ryukishi's the god of the universe and he's just plucking out characters he has created to rearrange them?
He has run out of ideas.
True.
He's got to start recycling names.
True.
Okay, but no, never mind. Yeah, keep going.
Okay, so let's continue. Basically, the doctor sees all of these people that's here. They all seem to be like in their own zone, and he's just really surprised that not only that they're not dead, that they are just like all here in this like mysterious facility, and there's all of these like conspiracy theories about all these disappearance of people, I guess, in the general. So the doctor basically tells that to Veer, and Veer says like, oh well, like these people are dead anyway, like they're like we can consider them as dead.
Assign dead at death.
Since they have cut off all their relationships, relations to the surface world, and when the doctor takes a closer look at the scientists, he sees like all of them are really enthusiastic despite of their age, and then they're just like, it's a very eerie, like disturbing vibe.
Yeah, how did you guys envision this scene? Because I envisioned it as just completely senile people who are just like, they are so energetic that it's actually uncanny. I mean, that's how I imagined it from the description.
I was just picturing it as like old folks home being funny.
I just thought of it as like, I don't know, I thought it was just like middle-aged men and they all had like those small like mini like children toys and played with them enthusiastically. I don't know.
What?
Like, that's just the wisdom. They're just children's toys.
The funny star.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's cute. That's a fun way to think about it. It's like some guy is like rolling like a Hot Wheels, like those like Lantino model car on the ground, and he's like, I'm gonna build the first car that has no friction. I don't know.
Yo.
Yeah.
So Veer's like, I know you want to come to our side. And so Veer basically says, like, our facility is an institution, not of research, but we translate. We translate the wisdom from God. Like, when you are good, she says, like, when you discover something, you're not discovering. You're actually just making what God says to you, like, in a language, like, you just translate it to, like common, stupid people can understand.
Yeah.
Basically, like, mere humans cannot read them so easily, and Veer is trying to, like, basically translate these techniques and learn their secrets.
That's an interesting dynamic. I guess it kind of applies to our real world too, so that makes it more interesting. But just the idea of everything in the world is already discovered. We just don't understand it yet. It's
Yeah.
fascinating. I like that Ciconia implanted that idea into my head because it's just nice food for thought.
True.
That's a good way to put it. The doctor basically makes, like, this random joke about, like, oh, maybe wisdom is left behind by some ancient civilization. Veer, like, takes, like, is kind of annoyed by, like, him, like, even suggesting that. She says, like, I don't really care where the wisdom is from, like, I just want to translate them. And basically, Veer looks at him and just says, I know you. I read all of your internet histories, and I know that you wanted to touch the wisdom of the gods, even if it's losing your life. And then the doctor's like, well, maybe I will join, like, could I join your circle, JK, unless? And Veer basically tells him that, I will make exception for you because I could taking your talent. But there's one condition. Veer tells the doctor to tell her everything about the Three Kings because she knew from the very moment that he was sent here that he was sent by the Three Kings to investigate her.
Yeah, imagine sending a mole to acquire information from your enemy, and then your enemy ends up getting information from your mole.
Yeah, and also just like the mole you send is actually really brilliant mind, so like they just get
Yeah.
they're like, oh, you should come work with us instead, you get to learn about all the wisdoms. The man starts freaking out and tries to call for help on his cellcom, but then keeps getting all these error messages. Veer just laughs at him and tells him that she has encountered many of the agents of the Three Kings and converted them to her side once they have learned the joy of translating wisdom. He sees this other scientist called Ogawa Sei. So you said you tried to look up that name and didn't find anything, right?
Yeah, there was like one scientist named Ogawa, but I don't remember what he did, and I didn't find anything about Sei or whatever.
So Ogawa, I could find a Ogawa that's a biophysicist and neurologist who discovered the fMRI system.
Oh,
That's an Ogawa, but I don't know the Sei is from.
maybe it's just one of the scientists who just didn't win a Bernard Prize, but still got invited. Maybe he too was a mole at a point.
That's silly.
But yeah, basically Ogawa Sei shows up and he starts cracking madly, and Veer says like, oh, Ogawa used to be an agent of the Three Kings and had joined her side after learning the wisdom.
Oh,
The doctor becomes horrified that Ogawa has basically went from like a normal person to a madman. Everything that's not necessary for translation has been completely hollowed out from this person. And now he's surrounded by Blue Gauntlet girls. And that's basically how the scene ends.
Okay, wait, can I say something, please? I guess I just noticed something. Like the first Nobel Prize winner, those two were both Russians. For the second one, both of them were like Americans.
huh.
For the first one, both of them sound like Japanese, so I thought that was interesting.
Okay. That is interesting. Even with the whole thing about how like some Gauntlet Knights, like the multiple personality thing, that seems to be a theme down here as well. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like a combination of both of two scientists into one person or something.
Oh, that would be really weird and fun.
Yeah. What I was gonna say is that from the perspective of how the scene delivers you and shows you this underground lab, it looks like something you would not want to be a part of. But when I think about it, it's like the people down here are just living the life. They're just so happy. They are mad. Like, they are most definitely mad, but they're really happy with what they're doing.
Well, they're certifiedly vibing. That's very true.
True.
They're having a good time.
I would join the underground lab. Like, they're just so happy. Like, they are translating fucking wisdom that nobody ever even knew about. Isn't that, like, fascinating? Like, goddamn. It feels like paradise down there, honestly. Like, being perpetually happy. Goddamn, sign me up.
I guess this is a fascinating way to see this whole scenario in the first place.
Yeah.
So the next things on our list that we want to talk about is actually we now finally have the opportunity to go read everybody's character cards.
Can you give me a second? I just discovered something.
Okay.
Of course, go for it.
What is it?
Apparently, I just googled like Mosei stuff, and apparently like Einstein used to have like a pen pal who he used to write to. He was called Sei Shinohara,
Uh-huh.
and he was talking a lot about nuclear warfare and how he was like opposed to it, I guess.
Oh.
And like it began in 1953 when the guy like sent a letter to Einstein criticizing him and in his role in developing nuclear bombs.
Very interesting.
This hole just gets deeper and deeper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cancelled Einstein.
true.
What could Ryukishi be planning with this?
You guys are just looking up historical Wikipedia articles and just saying, what could Ryukishi be planning?
Because of course we know Ryukishi is the arbiter of the world. He writes the future, the past, and the present.
True.
Yo, Ryukishi didn't write the names of the scientists to match the real people. He wrote the names of the real people to match the names in Ciconia.
True.
Well, so we're on the character menu part now.
Yes. So, how do we want to talk about the character menu?
Like, for example, we could start by discussing the logistics of this fucking menu. Like, I hate how you only unlock it now, and it's just half an hour worth of reading, or more. Like, I took 2 hours reading this shit.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. That is very true. It's like a really long menu.
Honestly, I can get the criticism, but for me, it was just like a treasure trove, just like looking at all this stuff and being like, huh. Like most of it doesn't even come up in the story, which is really interesting.
Yeah, that's also my problem with it. Like, so much interesting info is written on a fucking character detail sheet instead of being shown in the story, you know?
But it's like maybe it's like in future phases.
Yeah, I hope so.
It's like a look into the future.
A good thing I have to say about the menu, though, I guess, it's what's written in it. Because I think Ryukishi managed to pull off the descriptions for the cats really well. Because even though he's not showing, he's just war dumping information about the cats. I think he did a great job making all the dynamics really distinct and interesting. So props to you, Ryukishi. I even wrote small descriptions about all of those so that I can actually give examples instead of just saying he did it right. So, for example, I like to work cats because they have this dynamic. They have dynamic roles. So whenever one of them is tired, they can just swap their roles instead of actually withdrawing. And then the Grave Mole is just an OP sniper between 2 cannon towers. For Baibao, I wrote that they are like a Power Rangers robot, where they are really powerful together, but if one is missing, they just fall apart. Then Tawatatsu Youth is a one-man army, and then just two restraints, just to keep her in place and fit fire into the furnace, I guess, because she doesn't seem like the kind of person who would like to just go around shooting people. ABN stuff. Then you got the Yellow Shavit, which is built to kill one-man armies, and Rouges. It's just like built around the concept of countering ABN's first squad. And then you got the June 1st squad, which
but
is...
I wanted to also mention not only they're built to combat like ABN squad, but they're also just there to like absolutely shoot Naima dead if Naima went out of order.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Sorry, that's exactly what I meant. Yeah. And then the June 1st squad is kind of like Tawatatsu Youth, which is the one with Naima. Except the Ace, instead of having to be kept motivated by the other two have to maintain the image of the Ace, which is the princess, Retaville, and keep her from embarrassing her name while also trying to not take up the spot. Like, I think that's a really interesting dynamic they got going there. Because they have to make the princess look like she's the one pulling the weight, even if she isn't. They cannot take the spotlight. It's really interesting. Then the Cairo squad has earned the merit to just fuck around and do what each of them wants to individually, but then they sometimes still work as a group, which just makes them hard to predict. And then Watto just uses two-person squads instead of 3 people. So I just think Ryukishi did an amazing job at making all of these different teams feel distinct in combat, even if we never see them do this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's really funny because I was reading about how lots of people thought like the Olympics of their world is going to be really important in like the first phase. Like everybody who watched the trailers were like, "Oh, that's going to be like a huge plot point, and we're going to watch them like compete. That's going to be the first phase." But it basically ends in like the first like hour of you reading, and then they are just like, "Okay,
Yeah.
we're done."
It's just so stupid. Like a tournament. That's like the best idea someone ever had. That's like a staple in shonen because it's such an effective story arc, and Ryukishi just completes it in 2 minutes.
Duikishi's like, "I don't care about conventions. Fuck conventions."
True.
Like, these team dynamics are interesting, but they're only just kind of written
Yeah,
in
that's
the
what I meant.
bios, and we only have, like, a battle that's shown in depth at the beginning, and the rest is just kind of, and then there were explosions,
Wow.
and then there were feathers.
Woo.
True.
Don't you love battles in visual novels?
I'd say, like, the first battle, like, it was a pretty good visual novel battle, and then we just don't really get anything else.
I mean, there's good battles that comes later that I find pretty interesting. I think a lot of the missions that they do that like actually do kind of explain their characteristics, but I guess that happens in the latter half of the story.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe my brain just kind of skimmed through the other battles. It was just like, wow, explosions.
I think like one of my favorite battles that comes later is one of them is the one that ABN, I think it's either the ABN or the AOU people were doing to put out fire that's happening in a field, and I think and how they were like trying to coordinate how to put out the fire, and then they still get blamed for it or something because because all these people are like, they were flying above this burning field. Clearly, they were the one who set fire to everything.
I think the problem is that first like battle was a fight scene, and the rest were action scenes. And you can do a fight scene in text. You can't really do an action scene in text.
Good point.
I got that.
That's a very interesting point. So one of the first factions on here that we see is AOU, which is where all the main characters are from, which is the Arctic Ocean Union. So this is a faction that's formed around the alliance between AOU America, AOU Russia, which is the before World War III superpowers.
Mm-hmm.
So this is actually a really fascinating idea to basically pair America up with Russia, but like honestly speaking, it makes more sense with like modern American politics than anything. Like, yes, I could totally see like America and Russia bonding together.
Big country together, strong.
Yeah.
Especially when like Russia is no longer the scary communist anymore. Like, so that
No.
job is for other people to take.
Yes, Russia is now the funny country where the funny car crash videos come from.
True.
Oh my god.
That's my favorite exportation product from Russia.
Russia, my favorite export to find funny car crash videos.
Yes.
So they were funny.
So basically, after World War III, they decided to manage childbirth through factories. So they don't. There's no more natural. There's not that many natural childbirth anymore. They lost a bunch of people during World War III, and they just basically decided to do factory babies, and then that rapidly recovered the size of their population by like selecting genes and managed to like eliminate various hereditary diseases.
Yeah, that's really interesting because like genetic modification is like a topic that we could even argue about in today's day and age, and it's just interesting to be like, well, yeah, it would be objectively good to like remove hereditary diseases from
Yeah.
the DNA, but also like, do we really want to step into genetics, like genetically engineering babies?
Yeah, I mean that's like a conversation that happening in real world about CRISPR as in general because people are like, well, it's good that nobody fucking gets Alzheimer's like anymore, but like somebody's gonna fucking use this for like eugenics
Yeah.
reasons that are not like, oh, we should eliminate like I don't know, like Parkinson's disease or something.
Say no to artificial eugenics. Say yes to incest.
Okay,
What?
thank you, Des.
Wait, what are the reactions here?
What?
Sorry?
What?
Nothing. I thought
What?
I thought you were saying like,
What?
saying like a fucking, like this for eugenics, ignore for incest or something. I was like confused.
Anyway, AOU is also very well known for being extremely conscious of human rights, and they basically likes to intervene when they see human rights violations in other countries, claiming to be vanguarding for worldwide justice.
So they're basically the European Union, I guess.
They're basically so trying to do world policing, even though they're not world police. They're not the world police of this world anymore, which is
True.
pretty fascinating.
Okay,
And
but
then, sorry.
I was just saying like that's because this he said like they're like the EU, but like what is the EU intervening like down?
Uh,
They don't do that much.
Yeah, they don't do shit.
yeah, I guess that's true.
Weren't they like, we have decided North America is responsible for doing a genocide. We will do nothing.
Yeah.
Wow, massively poggers. So basically, because all the people in AOU are born from factories, other factions see them as more like cold-blooded. Like because that's one of the differences why they call it's Ciconia born or factory born.
Mm-hmm.
Ciconia born are natural born babies, and factory born are I don't know factory born babies.
Wow.
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 Oh,
Well, who would have thought? So yeah, next up, COU.
Yes, so COU. I also really like the concept of like COU in general because COU is a alliance formed between China and India, which makes a lot of sense because it's like two new coming superpowers that rose near at the end of like the before World War III era.
Mm.
This is really interesting because COU also not only has COU China and India, it also has COU Japan. Because after Japan got split after the Glass Sea, AOU took half of it and then COU took the other half.
I also think the concept of the COU is interesting because didn't China like get split up and unite again like 50 times during history? It's kind of like a step up from that, the COU.
I mean, I guess so. That is
Super
one way
China.
to think about it. Super China.
yeah, big China.
Big China.
Big China. I say it's very big.
China's.
Big China. China. But yes, I can't do a very good Donald Trump impersonation.
Wait, did you think I made a Donald Trump impression?
No, I wasn't. I was thinking about
Okay.
him saying like China.
Yeah, it's
Like,
funny.
What?
It's funny when he says it.
It is. Wait, have you seen that video, Des? It's like he says China, China. I don't know. It's like a very
Why is that-
ridiculous thing. There's a whole video. There's a video where he just
I-
says China over and over again.
Yeah, I can believe so. Just the intonation was so funny.
It is.
It
That's
is
what.
funny. That's the point.
COU was formed as a reaction to AOU's push for returning to the old world order. So basically, COU is inherently like reactionary to AOU, or
Oh,
vice
reactionary.
versa. Basically, that they're always on the opposite side of them, and they basically claims that they're the only faction that maintains like their before World War III values. They believe in traditions. They believes in the human heart. They're just more like the old vanguards of like they believe in like the origins of them. And meanwhile, like AOU are all factory born babies.
Fucking
So
stupid old boomers with their dumb ideas like, maybe we should have children.
Can cringe.
Come on, it's just too expensive to have kids.
that is also true. Basically, COU have vagina pumped babies, unlike the factory pumped babies. man.
I mean, isn't there male births now?
Vagina Pump Babies just sounds like a SoundCloud rapper.
Oh my god.
Oh, another thing I wanted to mention about COU is notoriously corrupt, and it's like where money and connection does the talking, and I think that's really funny, and it's kind of true.
Capitalism.
Capitalism. Well, actually, it's just like that's more like nepotism than anything. It's just
Yes, a word that I do not know, indeed.
a nepotism just means if I have a son and I want my son to be king because I'm king, that's nepotism. It's
Ah,
like you bring the people you have connection to the forefront.
I see. Okay, then AVN time.
ABN time.
Oh shit.
I have so much shit to talk about the AVN.
Yo.
It's so scummy. The AVN is like that thing where it'd be like, yes, religious freedom. Oh wait, it's the exact polar opposite. What the fuck?
I mean, religious people do be like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So it's Arab Arab. Why am I fucking dying? Why am I stupid? Arab.
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 Should I say it?
Yes, please go for it, Sayabe.
It's the Abrahamic Brother Nations.
Oh my god, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Basically, Abrahamic Brother Nation, ABN, used the end of World War III as a turning point. Basically, all the three religions,
All the three religions.
the
All
three
the-
big ones, all the three religions, all the three religions. So I think what they're trying to say is Islam, Christianity,
And
in
Uminekoism.
Judaism. Is that the three religions that they're going for?
Yeah, I
I
think
do
so.
not know.
So those are the three religions that once stood in opposition. Basically, like everybody who was trying to get like Istanbul, like everybody who was doing Ilip Eye at Istanbul, finally decided to
Don't they mean Jerusalem?
Jerusalem, not Istanbul.
Not Istanbul.
I'm now just saying random ass words now.
It's
I'm
fine, it's
literally
fine.
brain broken.
It's fine, it's funny.
The result was basically this newborn religious nation group. So they're basically ideas like they're going to be extremely respectful for traditions and
Yes.
all these religions for the sake of protecting religious freedom.
Sure.
And any slander against any other religion is strictly forbidden. And there's the religious police who oversees our infamous being like incredibly strict. So yeah, so they basically claims to be like a very beautiful, reverent nation group that respects all prospects of other people, traditions, religious art, and but for that reason, they basically pity other factions and works on expanding their influence in evangelizing.
Evangelizing.
Evangelion.
Evangelion.
Okay, what the fuck does evangelize mean? Convert or seek someone to Christianity. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say evangelizing is a very Christian word.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, but because of the level of the religious police authority, other factions thinks of it as like a crazy police state without freedom of speech, even though they claim to have so much freedom of speech.
Yes, they claim to.
Curious.
Curious.
I'm sorry.
You claim to have religious freedom, but without any religion. But when I go online and say that I don't like your religion, I instantly get banned and have like police knock on my door. Curious.
Yes. The description for one of the nuns literally says
Turning point ABN.
Turning point AVN, yes.
That's what you were gonna say, right, Tess?
the description of one of the nuns says that she's like the ultimate baiter because she makes posts criticizing the government, and then people who agree with her on the comment section are just never seen again.
Yeah, I remember that with Fatima.
It's just like a whiplash moment when you read that.
Yeah.
But yeah, about the ABN, I have some thoughts on it. Starting with the cats. We've already touched upon this, where like the two main ABN cats are polar opposites. One is built around the idea of Naima and this one-man army who can just obliterate people. And then people were obviously concerned about that. What if Naima turns against the faction? So the second cat is built around the opposite philosophy, which is that instead of letting one person have all of this power, we're just gonna make a cat that's equally as powerful, but only when the three members are cooperating, so that even if one of them goes rude, the other two can suppress it. which is interesting. I find it interesting that these two cats are on the same faction.
Can I say something? I keep hearing you say cats. Like, do you mean cats or like?
You just said the same thing. What's the difference?
Oh wait. I guess Same, you're finally here. We spent like 20 minutes debating at how to pronounce German words, and we were like, I really wish Same was here so she could set us
Oh,
right.
Kette.
Kette.
Do you mean Kette?
Kette?
Oh my god, Kette.
Kette.
Yeah.
Okay, Kette.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, so
It's okay. Who's that person that constantly that says that we pronounce every single Scandinavian?
it's not every single one. It's one of our commenters says that because they are from the same country as okay, I'm gonna try to pronounce it. The same country as Steinslaue. They are always
Stanislav.
they always point out that we never say his name right, and then I told them like, but we Google Translate told us this is how it's pronounced, and then they are like, I don't understand how Google Translate told you to pronounce it like that. That's so far away from how it's pronounced.
Yeah, Copybar, who writes lots of
Yeah, is it Capybar? Yeah.
I think so. Am I not an idiot? Polish, I think, right? So, Capybar says, I swear no Polish or no Slavic-speaking human would recognize this as a Slavic name. It's not Germanish or anything. For real, what kind of lies did Google Translate told you back then? Oh, I feel so bad.
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
I hope it's pronounced Steinschnauer. Yeah, that's what I'm going with this time. But yeah, what was I gonna say? No, you were gonna say something, Simon. Oh no, you've already said it. It's Kette. So my next thought about YBN, it's about Naima, which is like the single most blatantly wrong thing with YBN, which is that they drug fed this baby into an absolute monster. And how do they take responsibility for how fucking OP they made this person be? We build a cat to take her down if she goes apeshit insane from all the drugs we're giving her.
True.
Drug baby.
Drug baby. Wow.
It's actually funny that like she's always like she grew up in Berlin apparently, which is interesting.
She grew up where?
Like she has been attached to the Berlin Research Monastery, like in Berlin, like Germany.
Ah, nice. Good for you, Sayome.
What do you mean good for me?
What?
I don't know.
Just like, well, it's from your country. It's a reference. Good for you.
No, I like how Des is so mad that they're like, there's two people speaking Portuguese, but there's nobody who's from Portugal. How could that possibly be?
I didn't even mean to. I didn't even mean to cry. I was honestly just happy for Sayome, but you know, I am crying now again.
No, I'm sorry.
No, don't cry.
Don't cry tonight. Anyway, let's see.
I just think that Naima is like it's just funny that like she could change her personality with drugs. Like that's really interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's also another great conversation topic that Ciconia has implanted into my mind. I think it's really good food for thought. Like, would I take those drugs? Would it? You know? And then it
I
also
feel like
leads-
it's. What were we gonna say?
I was just gonna say it also leads to a bit of an existential question there. But yeah, that was the end of my thoughts.
Okay. I feel like her fact that it's written, oh, well, she just has all of the positive effects and all of the negative effects are just gone is a very weirdly, like, video game writing for her.
They're not totally gone. It says that she has... I think it says she's resistant to it, but it's not totally gone. She still has some side effects.
I mean, just, like, very video gamey that they would be able to just be like, okay, this is all of the negative effects, let's put the minus on that. These are all the positive effects, let's put the plus on that.
Yeah.
Well, the whole character menu is very video game-esque in the way that it is written and presented. It feels like a fighting game.
True. But also, like, I think it says that, like, she can keep brain damage to a minimum because, like, she's just really good at everything.
Yeah, but it's also, like, still brain damaging her. Like, you know, like, she's really young and they pumped her full of drugs.
Wow.
What if the reason she has no negative side effects of the brain is because she has no brain?
Well, yeah, like
True.
the thing is like it's clear that there is something that's going on with her. Like she's completely absent-minded. Like she's drugged out of her mind. All that she knows how to say is wow, 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 and then like, and every time she gets excited, she just gets drugged more. Like she doesn't even get to savor it. Like
True. Yeah.
Damn, I wish.
Girls born after 1993.
Girls born after 3005.
That's one after B3W.
True.
No,
Wow. Time to take my medicine. I'm so quirky.
babe, it's 4 p.m. Time for your brain damage medication.
oh my god, we should make that. Okay, so after ABN we have ACR, which are African Commonwealth.
Yes. No, it's the American College of Radiology.
Thanks.
Like the other day, I just my professor just put it on screen, and I immediately recognized it as ACR, and then it was just interesting. It was just like, aha.
You're like, wow, my gamer brain is so broken now.
Yes, I recognize that pattern of letters.
Then you jumped on the table and screamed at the whiteboard.
Yes.
Because you cannot escape Ciconia.
Then I took off my shirt and said, free personality drinks for everyone.
Thank you, Des.
Yeah, you're welcome.
ACR. So after immediately following World War III, the Hero King shockingly reunited the African continent, which is pretty impressive. There's a lot of random ass countries in Africa. So now when you finally say like I'm from Africa, it's not like a stupid thing to say now, I guess. They're all just from the same continent.
What?
They build up this powerful group of nations that now form one of the world's greatest factions. And basically, rather than trying to forcibly integrate all of these countless ancient cultures and religions, the Commonwealth King rules while serving as the highest ranking member of all culture of religion. So, like, I guess if your religion had a god, he would be like the high priest, or like if your religion had like a pope, he would be the pope.
The Pope.
Instead of being like the god or something.
Mm-hmm.
Is he just like the ultimate centrist?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. That's not what I got from the description.
Yeah, that was exactly me neither.
It just sounded like a Fire Emblem plot, like the Hero King.
Yes, the Hero King Marth defeated the evil dragon Grima, and then 1,000 years of peace until the seal was broken, and then Fire Emblem Awakening.
Thank you, Des.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
So basically, while they respect all tradition and culture, they also have taken up factory managed childbirth. So they are also the other faction that use like factory born babies. They claim to be like a nation group that combines both tradition and state of the arts. So they're like, if AOU and COU had a baby, it would be ACR, kinda. Maybe not.
Yeah, it is the ultimate centrist.
Sure, I'll let you have that.
He centralized the two countries and then created the country of Africa by just being nice to everyone.
Okay, the country of Africa is literally the most cursed words that I can hear. Some members of the royal family blame failures of the national policies on other factions, taking over really overly hostile attitudes in the belief that people from other factions are looking to split Africa into colonies once again. So I guess ACR also has inferiority complex because of like hundreds of years of colonization.
Yes, the pink map. The pink map is just a thing they did with Africa to like distribute the countries as colonies.
So, because of the access of some royal family members, other faction also believes royal families to be really corrupt and abusing their power and people.
Who would have thought?
Oh, I wanted to ask you guys, why don't you guys like Rethabil?
Oh,
I like her.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think Rethabil is a bad character on a vacuum. I think she's she's one of the best Ciconia characters, but she's just very mid as a When They Cry character for me, which just says a lot about all the other characters in Ciconia.
I don't know.
Maybe it's because of the lack of voice acting. They just don't sound as charming.
I think that she's likable enough, but she needs a bit more going on inside of her character.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I get that.
Maybe if, like, some interesting developments occur with her in the next chapters, she could get a lot better. But so far, she just feels like a beginning point of a character.
I mean, we are on just phase 1, which might be the only phase we will ever get. Just kidding.
I have given up hope.
Ciconia 2 will release Copium.
Wait, Des, are you both hoping for Ciconia Phase 2, but also worrying that Phase 2 will come out and ruin our podcast?
See, there are two meows inside of me. One of them wants more Ciconia because, yes, I want more Ciconia. The other one is like, shit, what if Phase 2 comes out in the middle of this podcast? And we have to, like, Ciconia Data Archive episode 8 through the end of it just becomes, oh yes, and now we're gonna keep making the episodes with Phase 2 knowledge. Kind of weird. So that's why half of me doesn't want it.
I get that.
That's when it comes to that point, you can't stop it. You can't stop the progress of time, man.
Well, that almost sounded like a quote from Ciconia, which was like, once it's begun, you can't make nothing about it or something. I don't remember. It's come up already.
Once it's begun, it's already ended.
Well, thank you, Ciconia fucking PhD heifer.
So...
Leto?
Yes, Leto. Leto is one of the last people in here. Leto is in the early part of after World War III era. They were blessed by the rich spirit field of rare spirituum and rapidly became one of the most prosperous country in the world. Leto controls the main source of the world's spirituum, and so no other faction can say no to them.
Going by the idea that spirituum is like the corpses, made from the corpses, and seeing how Leto has such big spirituum fields, it's kind of like a given that whatever happened on A3W kind of like had the focus on Leto ground, and that would be why they have such big spirituum fields.
Yeah, I was gonna also agree with that. Like, it's definitely probably Leto or like the Latin America countries were the most hard hitting during World War III, so they probably had lots and lots of people die, and they found out there's lots of spirituum because, you know.
I mean, there's a lot of people in Brazil and stuff, right?
Yes.
Density
Yes.
of people.
Brazil is kind of a weird country because, like, on one side of the scale, they are a very poor country. They have like a lot of people living in poverty, and then on the other side of the scale, they're like number one in the world when it comes to radiotherapy innovations, which is just like, what the fuck?
Huh?
You know, yeah, it's just so confusing.
I like how Des is like saying something really specific about the field that he knows very well about, and everybody
Yeah.
I live behind each other.
Because it's just every time you see like an English the commentary about radiotherapy innovation, it's always in Brazil. Like, it's always in Brazil. I don't understand how this keeps happening.
Oh wait, I think like isn't like Brazil the place where like the first attempts at putting wombs in trans women are happening?
I don't know. I can't believe that they love boobs.
What?
They have a festival about showing boobs. It's called
Woo.
Carnival.
Wombs, like
Wombs,
the-
like where the babies are stored.
Trans people already have boobs.
I love how Des is like, I like how Des is like, yes, Brazilian
Yes,
people love boobs.
I mean, have you never heard about the carnival? Like,
Yes, I have heard about Carnival.
I've only heard about the Japanese penis festival or whatever.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah.
so yeah, I didn't know about that, Jansit. That's an interesting piece of information.
Now more things you know about Brazilians.
True.
True.
What about Leto, though? You want to talk about the amazing carpet they have for a flag?
Oh, yeah, I don't like their flag. I forgot which. I guess this is the episode that we cut, but I was gonna talk about the vexillology of all the flags, and I hate the fact that I like all the flags. They look really cool, but they should take off all the words off the flags. And Leto's flag looks so ridiculous. It's just too stupid, but it's very funny to me.
I remember like during the last time we were recording this, I just was typing in the Discord chat, warning, pedophiles are using this flag, and I just sent the Leto flag, and Horse Scam just got angry at me for typing two funny things in the chat.
For context, this is a re-recorded episode. We just discarded the previous recording.
Oh yeah, so other things I want to talk about later. They're currently functions as the central axis of the world and are basically filled with headquarters of various international organizations. So basically, like, Red Cross, Sweden, shit like that. I don't know, like,
Yo.
the massive financial power. Yeah, and also I guess where you put all your Nazi gold, like.
What?
Sweden putting Nazi gold, like, that's why, like,
Yeah.
Sweden was like the place where, like, it's no, not, what is that called? They're just like the peace zone. So like the Nazis, like, they also became like how all of the Nazis people just like went there and put all their gold that they stole during World War II. Good times.
Yeah.
I see.
They also have massive financial powers and a really strong military, and they refer to themselves as the world police, as America once did before World War III. And also, like, the people they're living are just like incredibly well off, and
Yeah.
that basically is the number one most chosen region to if a place I want to be reborn into.
And Leto breaks conventions in the sense that they use, like, their squads are not kettes, right, Simon? They are 2 people squads. Do you have any idea why they went with 2 people in each squad instead of 3?
Salome, didn't you had an idea for that because of, like, Bible?
What?
It always comes back to the Bible.
What?
Yeah, I thought it's supposed to be something about, like, witness instead of, like...
Oh yeah, the 2 witnesses.
Now I'm just thinking of the one, like, Jimmy Neutron classroom meme of just, Siome, this is the 7th time you've compared Ciconia to the Bible.
She can't help it. They are, like, directly tied. Like, Ciconia, I swear, Ciconia is an apocryphal book.
Also, by the way, the 2-person squads are called the Rotte.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's not really German. Apparently it's a harp or something. I don't know.
But what about the 2 witnesses?
I don't know everything about the Bible. I'm sorry. It's just like there are 2 witnesses in the Bible.
Okay, I'm sorry then.
That's basically what I was gonna say. Like, that was the 2 witness is what Salome was gonna say, and I was like, I remember reading her notes about it, so I was like, oh, that's why it's 2, because they're not directly doing anything in the party with everybody else. They're just more like witnesses. They're just there to watch everything happen.
Yeah, there's just 2 people that see what happens. It's just in the Book of Revelation, apparently.
I guess.
They're just 2 of God's prophets who are seen.
I guess that could be a reason. I came up with 3 different other 3 different reasons. It could be because 3 is like it's a religiously significant number. It's like 3 days and then the Trinity, all of that shit.
Yeah.
It could also be just because maybe 3 is the perfect number for cooperation.
Yeah.
Like my professors talk about that a lot, about how, like, if we make groups of 4 people, one of them is just not gonna do anything, and then the other 3 are gonna have all the work. So, like, maybe 3 people is the perfect number for cooperation. Or maybe alternatively it could just be because it sounds like cat, and Ryukishi will actually die if he doesn't reference Furude for 2 minutes.
Ryukishi not mentioning Furude challenge.
True.
Impossible.
At 4 a.m.
So Leto is also a part of, like, they have this called Healthy Military Balance Oversight Community. So this is attached to the International Peace Mediating Association Military, the Healthy Military Balance Oversight Committee. This is such a fucking long, stupid name.
Yeah. I was gonna say, one of the things we talked about on the previous episode that I want to leave on recording was not on the previous episode, on the previous recording of this episode, we were having a discussion about why were all the faction names in English, and we arrived at the conclusion that it's probably just for convention's sake, because then you have factions like the COU where you have all of these different countries with different language characters, and that could lead to conflict. So it's better to just have the convention of everything's in English.
Yeah. Unfortunately speaking, I imagine even in this world, English is still the universal language. So
sad.
It's one of the easiest languages to learn, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I guess sucks to suck.
Tragic.
So, after all this, is there anything else that's opened up? Oh, I guess, Kero Puyo is opened up, right?
No,
yes.
Kero Puyo is not opened.
Is it not? Okay.
That's like after the credits.
Wait, really? I thought it was opened now at this
No.
point.
Like all the miscellaneous characters are just after the whole game was over.
No, I haven't unlocked the miscellaneous characters, but Karapoyo is still there. I think
Is it just Kirapoyo then? Oh,
I
I'm
think it
pretty
is.
sure that like he unlocks when the menu.
okay. Then I can say something that's very sus about him.
Yes.
The forbidden, the uninstallation resistance. That's the only SSS ability like in the whole character like thing that we know of. Except like things that come in the after credits, but like
Yeah, that's something to keep in mind.
it's just really interesting because it shows that like Kirapoyo is apparently really really strong or something.
Kerapo is just a malware.
Sayome, what do you think the three S's stand for? Do you think it could be that he's Satan?
True. Okay, shut up. I know that's just a theory I have. Okay, like he could also be God. Like
that doesn't explain it.
yeah, because like uninstallation resistance and like in his description it says that Kirapoyo is like the thing that the most talked to thing in the world, and I thought that was like a parallel to God because like he prayers, you know,
Yeah.
and all of that.
Just watch the SSS be a stupid joke like super sexy software.
I think it's just that, haha, isn't it funny that this useless character has the most powerful tier?
No,
Yeah.
Kirapoyo is gonna be important. Like they have a master. They have like they're really fucking weird. I don't know. Kirapoyo does have a master. Like they say that at like one point in the story, like when Mio's
Yeah.
fucking dying.
Mia's fucking dying.
Like, Karapoyo has a master. Is Karapoyo a bottom?
Ugh. You think God is? Do you think God is a bottom?
That
Like
is definitely a bottom.
Power bottom.
he did reincarnate in a man.
I mean, you know, good God is, yeah. I mean, Jesus is a bottom.
I don't know.
True.
He was pretty high up when he died.
Oh my god.
We're gonna cut this one out.
No, we're not. We're not.
We're
cutting
not.
this.
You're gonna get
This is gonna
cancelled.
go on.
Fuck you.
This is gonna stay on.
Well, now that you say we were supposed to cut it out, now we can't.
Yeah,
True.
exactly.
Okay.
It's the law.
Okay, so
I have just some fragmented thoughts.
okay, go for your fragmented thoughts.
Fragments.
My
Haha.
fragmented thoughts are just like Gravemole is 100th experimental squad, which just implies that there are 99 failed attempts of a Gravemole squad before this one,
Right.
which is funny because they are experimental squads. So I wonder what went wrong. Probably Koshka. What else? Let me see. Oh, I also have something written down, which is that it really goes to show you how big of an ace everyone who is a Gauntlet Knight is when Aisha's character description says her combat capabilities only got a passing grade, and then the passing grade is an S minus.
I mean, no, it's minus S. I think. Like it's minus S. Like it's a bad thing.
Minus S? No, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It's still an S.
The minus is for before the S. No, it's like a
still-
negative S. It's a badass. Badass. No, I didn't mean that.
Is it?
No,
Is it a
no.
negative S?
Yes, are you
I
blind?
feel like Simon, you're just making shit up to make.
No, but like look at it. It's a minus and then an S.
Negative S.
You don't put a minus before an S.
Okay.
Put
Okay.
it okay.
Okay.
I guess I wanted to talk about Ninja and Koshka. Okay, first off, they're both really fucking gay. And then the second, I think it's interesting that like Lilja has the clay girl thingy.
Yes, I was gonna mention that as well. Oh my god, Simon. Yes.
This is so interesting.
That's your theory is sucks so much more. Let's Simon go first.
No, it has nothing to do with my theory. I'll get into that at the end so that you don't get mad at me.
It's not really a theory. It's just like interesting because like it's a code name that researchers gave her to her brain because like God made humans out of clay. So I feel
Yes,
like this
yes.
just says that her brain is really malleable. Like they can like change it however they want. So I'm thinking that like this is gonna be like connected to like Pandora's box to like Koshka's brain.
Mm-hmm.
That they want to like transfer some ability from Koshka onto Lilja. That's why they made them like be so close together and everything.
Oh, is that how you interpreted it?
Yeah.
I saw it mostly as just like since Koshka's brain is Pandora's box and Lilia is the clay girl, right? And then in Pandora's story, it's said that Pandora was made from clay, and I know all humans are made from
Oh.
clay, but supposedly, but like
Yeah.
Koshka, Lilia specifically is called Clay Girl in Ciconia, so it's like we should pay more attention to that, specifically to Lilia. So it just makes me feel like if Pandora opened Pandora's box, it's kind of implied that Lilia would be the key to opening whatever
Oh.
Koshka's brain unlocks. And then in the data fragments, we do see that Lilia was kind of like playing a role to get to some bigger goal with like her
Yeah.
friendship with Koshka, right? So it could be that
Marriage.
whatever that facility is trying to do with Koshka, Lilia is the key to it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the best theory that you came up with. Congratulations.
I wouldn't even call this a theory, Mushroom, but thank you.
I wouldn't either, but
Oh wow, you were just trying to console me? Am I dead?
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
That's why I think it's just really funny that for Chloe's subject, description, it just says that like every month she just like gives in a form so that she can just like get to a different kette.
Like every week she's like, please let me quit. Please just let
Yeah,
me quit.
and it's every time the night by Okonogi. It's really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Also kind of sad.
Yeah. I just have a thought from last episode that I didn't get to say. It's really quick. It's just that supposedly Naomi receives compensation for the personality damage caused by her training, and that compensation is 3 whole euros.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah. What is the fucking state of the currency in this world?
What does this say about the economy?
How will this affect the economy?
But like, actually though, how much is 3 euros worth in this? Like, is the economy in this like somehow like scaled like really far de-inflated where that is actually a reasonable amount, or is it like as much of a joke as it looks like, or is it like even more of a joke with like 3 euros being like a penny?
I guess that could also be the case.
I don't know. I mean, maybe their like value just went down, like euros just went down. Or I mean up, sorry.
It could also have been gone
don't
down.
know.
Yeah, like, is it possible that they just kind of like reset the value of the currency like really far down?
They're like, money's fake anyway, let's make fake money.
Or they're just like,
Thanks.
all right, we've all died anyway. Let's just make small money, small money, pennies.
Huh, wait a minute. That also makes me think. Because the euro led me to European Union. And supposedly the European Union is like the union of these countries that are kind of like operating under the same guidelines, I guess, or rules. But there is an actual faction here that isn't united, like the European Union. Maybe the European Union doesn't even exist and the euro just stuck around because it was the coin that they used. Or maybe it still exists. And it's just like maybe some countries of the ABN aren't even part of the European Union, which is interesting to think about.
How many like mentions of currency has appeared?
I feel like the euro is the only thing that was mentioned, right?
Was it only in this bio?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I really don't know. We just know that like Gauntlet Knights like they get food and stuff, so
I mean, we could keep an eye out for it.
I kind of like would have expected like the Ciconia to be like, this is worth X amount of credits. Just that vague currency, but if there's euros and nothing else mentioned, that's a little odd.
Well, we'll have to keep an eye out.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, those were all my thoughts for Ciconia-only spoilers.
Okay.
okay. I guess I wanna talk about some more stuff. But
No, you can. If you have more Ciconia-only thoughts, you can.
Okay, it's just like just interesting that for Leah, like the girl from Yellow Dutch David, like the main one, like it just says that she can like kill people with like anything, like a bottle cap
With
or like
glasses.
Yeah. That's just really interesting. Like she's just an assassin or something.
She's just a trained assassin who's also just like, I mean, she's probably trained as a secret police. So like, not a secret police, like as a religion police. So she just like kills anybody in any scenario, but is also a idol girl. Honestly speaking, Yamada Chavez has such a good like idea for it. Like the whole concept is so cool, but like the reality is that they're just annoying girls who nobody likes.
As in the description, Leah is just basically a snitch, like the observation thing. All of her observations just go to her superiors.
Yeah.
Also, Fatima is interesting because, like, that was the funny thing with, like, the government posts. Like, she just posts, like, posts critical of the government, and the people in the comments who agree just, like, fucking get 1984 or something. It's really funny.
It is very funny.
Oh, you think censorship is funny?
Yes. I do, and I'm tired of pretending it's not.
Hey, listen, I can joke about censorship. My country had a big fascist problem just 2 generations ago, so I'm in the clear zone.
It's okay. Everybody has a fascist problem.
I will shut up.
No, yeah.
You shut up.
I will not comment on that.
Des says we have a fascist problem, and then Sayome says, "I'm leaving the room right now."
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
But yes,
Oh, man.
fascist. Very cool. Not very cool.
Any more thoughts, Simon?
Yeah, I guess on Ishak because like one of the ACR guys, like he just has like a drug what's it called, addiction.
True.
Yeah, and he says to take it, and they don't know if it has side effects, which is interesting. Like maybe we'll see
Yeah.
that in the future.
Like, there's so many little things that they basically buried in the character, like, introductions that, like, you know, we don't even know when it's gonna pay off yet, but, you know, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. It's almost as if Ryukishi could have written these details into the story, but I mean...
I mean, there's already, like, too much stuff to stuff into the first episode that it makes sense. But that's, like, more of a general problem with Ciconia,
Yeah.
that this is, like, that this only, like, adds to it.
Mm-hmm. What else, Simon?
Just maybe the Mariana thing with the CPP autism.
Yeah.
Like I thought this was really interesting. Like she has like a condition where her personalities like refuse to like give leeway to each other, so she just kind of tenses up, like is unable
Yeah.
to do stuff. So I thought that was really interesting.
I found it interesting too.
Like we kind of see that in the story, but like
Yeah, good job, Ryukishi, making Mariana have this interesting of a of a character detail, and then just making her whole character be, oh yes, I like to pet this girl, and I'm repulsed by the other girl. Wow.
they're just all lesbians, like in a love triangle, like literal love triangle.
Well, anyway, is that the end of your thoughts, Simon?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so if you have not read Umineko and Higurashi, this is the end of the episode for you. We hope you enjoyed this and that you catch us on the next episode.
Goodbye, Finn.
Wow.
Do you even know somebody called Finn?
Yes, it's the one person we told you about, Mushroom.
Yes,
Oh,
he
I
is the
see.
one person who's only reading Ciconia.
That's impressive.
That's just why we have to do this.
I'm glad that in the end our podcast is literally catered to like 3 people, and that's the reason why we do this podcast. It's like because we want to do it, and then there's 3 people who would like actually like listening to us. Oh, one of the first things I want to mention for the Higurashi Umineko spoiler is I think I like how Ryukishi at this point decides to not even give a shit about being like, yes, this is Mio. Takano, she faked her death. Lol. XD.
Yes.
Like it's not even like that like ceremonious. Like he just says it like as an offhanded comment. He's like, yeah, and she faked her death. It was pretty lit.
It was pretty lit.
Like people say, oh, you gotta read Higurashi before Umineko, because Umineko, that's going to spoil Higurashi. But I don't really think that's like I didn't really feel or sense any of that. But with Ciconia, it's just like, yeah, this character who just is Takano, she just burnt herself to death, but it was fake. And like, if you read Ciconia first and like go back to Higurashi and don't like detect that that's a spoiler, I don't know how you'd even manage that.
What are you trying to say? Like, what is your point?
But you know what's actually funny about
Wait,
that?
I didn't get Yensid's point. What is your point? Is that people who would read Higurashi after would get spoiled?
Yeah, like, it's just a very... Like, most people would just think that is just a spoiler.
I don't think so, because when I went to read Ciconia, when I saw Dreisig, I didn't think, oh, I bet she died just like Takano did, you know? So I don't think someone who read Ciconia first would then go into Higurashi and think, oh, I bet Takano is gonna die just like Dreisig did.
No, it's just that, like, it's like, oh, I faked my death by burning myself, and then you play Higurashi and you see a character who looks exactly like her definitely dying from burning herself.
I see.
And you're like, whoa.
You know what's funny about that to me? Because like I believe that like I feel like Isaac like actually died because like it says that like her body was like actually found and everything was like cleared.
Mm-hmm.
But with Takano it's like it was said that like, you know, it was a male body and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think it's really interesting.
So do you think rear tracing that we see isn't... What are you trying to imply here?
I think it's just a really, really meta scene. Like, maybe she's like part of the afterlife. Maybe she's part of the AMS. I don't know. I had a crazy theory about that once.
Once?
You want to go into the theory now?
I don't know. It's very weird.
Can you get the idea, you said of like, that the lab scenes are kind of like another meta world, but just for scientific concepts?
Gatekeeping the meta world.
Yeah, I think that's said. You said that right with the concepts.
Yes,
Like-
with the concepts. I was gonna talk about the concepts, which is that, like, because of Siome's discovery of like the names of the scientists in Ciconia being the matching, like the junction of the people of scientists in the real world, and because the people who are matched together work together for the same Nobel Prize, for the same discovery that won them the Nobel Prize, it would be like both, like those two people, their names represent the discovery, right? Which just, it's very similar to how Dwanor works for the Nox Decalogue, you know? So I just thought maybe the people on the underground labs, they, like the scientists, they aren't the actual people who lived. They are just the representation of the concept they helped explain, i.e. translate.
Oh, that's actually really interesting.
Wow, that's so good. I'm gonna clap now.
Wow, my first good Ciconia theory. Thank you. Soon enough I'm gonna start having book club level of theories for Ciconia as well. You will see.
Everyone has the first test. It's okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
What else?
sorry.
What else? I'm. Wait, is this the finale of our thoughts on this topic? Can I move on to another one, or do you have anything else you want to say?
No, you can go on, I think.
Okay, then my apologies to Sujata, who I called just Natsuhi in both appearance and aptitude on the last episode, because apparently she's always asking her superiors for changes in the outdated kata formations, whilst Natsuhi would just never even suggest that her superiors could be wrong. And I mean, she's still very much like Natsuhi, like in her constantly being under stress and being very stubborn. But at least she's a bit more confrontational when she disagrees with something, which is not something Natsuhi would do.
She was confrontational with the baby, yeah.
Yeah, but like, you know,
The one confrontational moment was with the baby. Years of built up discontentment culminated in that.
every time we sing the baby, it just makes me think about the rapper. So now my brain is
Same.
The
broken.
baby.
I was trying to make a joke with that, but I came up with nothing, so I just said nothing. Yeah, this is the curse of the internet. But yes, I also said this on the discarded episode. From all the Umineko characters, I did not expect Natsuhi to get the Okonogi treatment.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's what we have, and it's nice. I like this new Natsuhi. About Gunhild. Gunhild had very low P3 levels in her early life, and then she trained really hard and became an ace, right?
Mhm.
And she even was granted the title of Counselor Special Assistant with the right to speak at the Research Development Council for PP training methods. And we do know that Lady Lambda Delta looks favorably upon hard workers, so
SMH.
I wanted to mention this detail. And we should keep an eye out for Gunhild. Maybe she's the one, the Lambda Delta piece instead of the other two more, apparent contenders.
By the way, have we talked about the Gunhill trans theory yet?
No, but I'm
No.
interested in hearing about it right now.
Okay, so I got this from like a video or something, but basically like it was said that in her early years her like P3 wasn't high, right?
Yes.
And it said that like women have like higher P3 aptitude, right? Or like they're always like higher in general. So what if she just took like HRT and like that's how she got better
What?
P3 thing?
You got
Wait,
this from
wait.
what?
She
the
would-
fuck?
Wait, so in this scenario, Gunhill would be transmaxing?
Shut up. No. Shut up. Don't bring that up. Okay, anyway, I think, and like apparently she did that for like her sister because like her sister wanted to be a Golden Knight and stuff like Maya.
Hmm.
And like that's why she like became a woman, I guess.
What? How do those
So,
two things
yeah.
correlate?
Because like women have like higher P3 levels.
Yeah, but what
and,
does
like,
that have to do with Maya?
So she could become a Gauntlet Knight for Maya. Because Maya wanted to be Gauntlet Knight.
Yeah, but what?
So they could both be Gauntlet Knights.
What? Then how does that work? Oh, my sister wants to be a Gauntlet Knight, so I'm gonna become a Gauntlet Knight. Like what?
And they wanted to be them together.
Ah,
Wait, isn't
okay.
that... But, yeah, wasn't that already... Aren't you, like, kind of going after the one part of the theory that's just the canon backstory for her?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have brought it up.
It's funny.
Yeah, but it's funny. Also, it says that she's like an instructor for P3 improvement training. And like some people have become like infantry members thanks to instruction, and like the trainees adore her. I just think it's like a funny idea. Like she just like transes all these like babies and like makes them like go on the nights that way.
This is the real forced feminization that we always hear about.
Yeah. It's just a funny theory, I think. Like interesting.
Joe Biden is going to force feminize all of the state's grown babies at birth so they can get the brain levels.
Wow, forced feminization at birth. What a time.
Amazing.
But I'm not at birth, but like maybe later. I don't know.
Aren't like most of the Ciconia cast probably a little trans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has trans themes like
No, I mean like just the fact that like most of the characters would have this multiple personalities.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's not really what trans is.
Well, a lot of them would probably have like different gender personalities, so wouldn't most of them probably be a little trans?
Sure, why not?
No, they are fully trans. They are fully trans, but because they are transphobic, they just say it's a different personality.
Yo, base.
The next step from HRT femboy.
Oh my
What?
God.
Yes.
Okay, should we have this in the episode?
Yeah, Jens.
Yeah, this is probably...
Okay, we're gonna end now. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of When We Cry.
No,
Data
wait.
Archive.
We need to decompress.
No!
We need to like. We need to like get back to normal levels. We can't end the episode like
Yeah.
this. So
Normal
This is
hormone.
what happens when I'm tired.
so I have some more thoughts, but I guess I can just talk about them whenever we have more time, because it's already an hour and 50.
I guess I just want to say one thing,
Yeah, that was your thing, Salome.
like about Mariana again with the CPP autism. Like that reminded me a lot of like Beatrice again, like with all the personalities, like and wanting to stabilize and stuff. And she also looks like Claire, so yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, Simon! All of the things you just said were literally my first thought when I read her character thing. You just put my thoughts into words.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we can end now.
Okay, thank you so much for listening to our podcast, When We Cry Data Archive. We will soon be posting more episodes, and sorry for us being very busy. Life gets in the way. And do people want to say something to sign off?
I like these 3 episodes we've put out. I think we have interesting things to say about Ciconia, and I hope the next episodes are just like this one, because I think this 3rd episode was a really good episode.
Yeah.
I think there was some good stuff from the previous recording, but I exited it feeling like we really didn't cover what we were supposed to. But like with this, yeah, I think we covered the bios well enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good. Okay, bye!
See ya.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Mom?